In a quiet village nestled between moonlit hills and silver rivers, there lived a gentle girl named Cinderella. She spent her days sweeping dusty floors, tending to the garden, and singing softly to the birds who loved her dearly. Though her stepmother and stepsisters treated her cruelly, Cinderella never lost her kindness or hope. One evening, as twilight draped the sky in purples and golds, a royal messenger arrived in town. He unrolled a golden scroll and read aloud, "By order of the king, there shall be a grand ball at the palace tomorrow night. All young maidens are invited, for the prince shall choose a bride." The village buzzed with excitement. Cinderella's stepsisters shrieked with glee, already dreaming of gowns and glittering tiaras. Cinderella, however, quietly whispered to her mouse friend Pip, "If only I could go too." That night, after the house had gone silent and her sisters were asleep beneath layers of lace and silk, Cinderella crept into the garden and sat on a mossy bench beneath the willow tree. A tear rolled down her cheek. Suddenly the wind stirred. Leaves shimmered like stars. Then twinkle, sparkle, hum. A ring of 12 glowing lights spun around her. Cinderella gasped as the lights took shape. 12 fairies, each as radiant as moonbeams and flowers in springtime, danced before her. "We are the 12 Dancing Fairies," said the tallest, with hair like spun silver. "We've watched you, Cinderella. Your heart is pure and your kindness shines. We've come to help you attend the ball." One by one, the fairies stepped forward, each gifting her something magical, not just for the ball, but for her soul. 1. Fairy of Kindness. With a swirl of peach-colored petals, she floated close. "You always care for others, even when they don't care for you. I gift you a rose pendant. Wear it, and your kindness will glow in every room." 2. Fairy of Courage. This fairy's gown shimmered like firelight. "You face your days bravely, Cinderella. Take this silver feather. It will remind you to speak and stand tall when you feel small." 3. Fairy of Joy, giggling like chimes in the wind. She offered a charm shaped like a sun. "Let laughter be your light, even in the dark. This will keep your spirit joyful." 4. Fairy of Wisdom. With a wise smile, she handed Cinderella a tiny scroll. "You listen before speaking and learn before judging. This charm will help you trust your inner voice." 5. Fairy of Patience. Wearing a gown that flowed like a calm river, she placed a pearl on Cinderella's wrist. "Your patience is your strength. This will steady your heart in stormy times." 6. Fairy of Generosity. A basket of glowing fruit floated beside her. "You give freely. This charm, shaped like an open hand, will return blessings to you tenfold." 7. Fairy of Truth. Holding a tiny mirror, she said, "May you always see the truth within yourself and others. This mirror will guide you with clarity." 8. Fairy of Creativity. Her wings shimmered with paints and poems. "This charm holds your imagination. Use it to turn problems into possibilities." 9. Fairy of Hope. A sparkling star landed in Cinderella's palm. "Hope has kept you going. Let this star light your way when the world feels dark." 10. Fairy of Gratitude. She offered a golden leaf. "Thankfulness lives in your heart. This charm will remind you of the beauty already around you." 11. Fairy of Forgiveness. Her touch was gentle. "You have forgiven more than most. Wear this crystal drop, it will keep your heart light and free." 12. Fairy of Love. The last fairy floated down, radiant as the dawn. "Love surrounds you, Cinderella, even when you feel alone. This heart-shaped gem will glow when you follow your heart." With a sweep of their wings, the fairies transformed Cinderella's ragged clothes into a gown spun from stardust and moonlight. Her slippers shimmered like frozen dew, and the 12 charms glowed across her sash like a shining belt of stars. But remember, the fairy of love warned gently, our magic fades at midnight. Be home before the last chime, or your dress will vanish. Cinderella nodded, eyes wide with wonder and heart full of gratitude. The palace ball. When she entered the ballroom, everything stopped. The prince, who had grown tired of false smiles and practiced curtsies, saw Cinderella, and something real sparked in his chest. They danced softly, joyfully, as though they'd always known each other. Cinderella laughed, her rose pendant glowing, her feather charm fluttering with each brave step. But the clock chimed once, twice, until it struck midnight. "Oh no!" Cinderella whispered, slipping from the prince's hand. She ran, the slippers sparkling as she fled down the marble steps, one falling behind. By the time the final bell rang, she was barefoot beneath the stars, back in her garden, breathless but smiling. The next day, the prince searched the kingdom, holding the lost slipper. When he arrived at Cinderella's home, the stepsisters pushed and squealed, but the slipper did not fit. Then, quietly, Cinderella stepped forward. The shoe slid on as though made for her because it was. But more than the slipper, the prince recognized the kindness in her eyes, the courage in her voice, the joy in her smile. The charms across her sash glowed once more, brighter than before. And so, Cinderella became queen not just of a kingdom, but of a life filled with kindness, courage, and love. She invited the 12 dancing fairies to live in the palace gardens, where children visited to hear stories and receive tiny charms of their own. And every full moon, Cinderella would waltz under the stars, her gown glowing with 12 gentle lights, as the fairies danced beside her, reminding the world that true magic begins with the heart. The end.